remember that these values were given to us as a foundation when we were here in school. When we go out, it is our duty to speak up, even when the majority is not for it. Remember to stand with 2 or 3 if need be, and speak up for the right. Have that moral courage. You know, when I was in school, there was a man called Murugesan who used to sell polymangoes and kamarkats. Kamarkats is a sweet which is no longer there, out on a push cart outside the gate. We were strictly forbidden to go outside the school, but we made daily excursions out there to taste his goodies. Now, Murugesan used to tell us that he had 2 children and his big dream was to send them to an English medium school, but he just couldn't afford it. He used to keep reminding us that we were romba lucky babies to be studying in Church Park. Murugesan was not there in the last 2 years of my school years, and we missed his goodies, and occasionally I used to think about him and wonder if he was okay. Now, my young friends, these are the beginning years of your life's journey into a very exciting, eventful future. Coming from a home that can afford this education, coming to a school that is one of the best in the country, and according to me, the very best. Is it the very best school in the country? Yes. So coming from this background, you are already ensured of great personal success. But while you are getting there, remember, there will always be a Murugesan somewhere in your life. It is so easy to relegate him to the position of a faded, occasional, kindly remembrance. But if you can empathize with the Murugesans you come across, if you can use your status and influence to raise your voice for the voiceless, if you can seek to identify not merely with the powerful, but also with the powerless, then indeed you stand brave and you stand true under the green and gold. More than any other measure of success, I wish for each one of you that you develop this capability of inclusion. You know, our alma mater is showing it in action every day. This Tamil medium school here is an example of loving inclusion in action. Now, you know, I belong to the government service, and could I beguile some of you at least to think in terms of joining the service. I want to say this because today when we talk to youngsters, most of them say, what? Government service? Never. That's for the monkeys. They pay peanuts. So, but what I want to tell you is that, you know, in this service, there is much that you can do. You can actually contribute to decisions that can change people's lives across the state, across the country. And inclusion becomes a part of your life because that is a great part of your job. So do think about joining this service, at least some of you. Church Park, you have completed 100, you are completing 100 years this year. You are one great lady, more beautiful, growing much stronger, and producing a much larger number of lovely kids at this ripe old age. I raise, on behalf of the class of 67, I raise a toast to you. Here's to the next 100 years, and here's to all of you young ones to whom those years belong. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next speaker has a special interest in environmental issues and in the work of legal aid for the poor. A lawyer by profession, her impeccable language and forceful expressions make her a great orator. Ladies and gentlemen, former Union Minister and spokesperson for the Congress, Ms. Jayanthi Natarajan. I request Sister Dennis to honor her with a ponade and present her with a memento.
All my distinguished colleagues on the stage and my dear young friends. First, I'd like to add a few words to what Rachel just said before me, and to say that we are all still faithful students in Church Park, because all of us on the stage tried to persuade sister that it's getting very late and maybe she can do away without our speeches so that you can all go forward to the variety entertainment and dinner. But when we got a firm no, we fell into line like faithful Church Park students, and we are standing up before you. So you can take the girl out of Church Park, but you can't take Church Park out of the girl. And all of us remain faithful Church Park students. For me, at least, it's more than 40 years since I was in this school. And I think that kind of bonding is virtually impossible in any other institution. For me, certainly, today is a green island of tranquility in the tension and trivia of everyday life when I've come back to my alma mater. Of course, when we were in school, we always talked about green in a very knowing way and the green island, because we were convinced that the nuns had a special soft corner for shamrocks, being the national flower of Ireland. I was in Lilies, and during those years, I'm sure all of you are much better now. During those years, Lilies had a very bad run in sports. And we were convinced that it was because the color was green that shamrocks always won. So as I stand here before you, so many lovely memories come rushing back. And I remember all those sports days and that interminable march past with Colonel Bogey's march that Miss Simon used to teach us to perfection. I remember that music class with that eminent musician and genius Handel Manuel, but we were too young to appreciate his talent. And we were also a captive audience because he used to force us to listen to stories about his foreign trips, which we used to sit and giggle about, but we totally missed the great talent of the man. In fact, I think my early political career began in the school. I don't know if it's the same thing that's happening today, but in my days, on your birthday, you went up on stage and the entire school wished you happy birthday and you stood there on the stage. I loved the attention so much that my birthday came 4 times a year. And it was a mark of grace of the school authorities and of my colleagues in school at that time that nobody remarked upon it. And every time I went on stage, they sang happy birthday to me. So these are the wonderful few memories that I wanted to share with you. I too want, just as the speakers before me have spoken, to speak about those incidents that have been happening in our country against minorities. And to say that for me, Reverend Archbishop, the first foundation of secularism was laid in this Irish institute, in this convent school, where I remember very, very clearly, we were used to climb. This was a convent. This was a Catholic institution. We did moral science. I remember climbing that jungle gym across the compound to look into the Thousand Lights Church and hear the Thousand Lights Mosque and hear the chants that the mosque used to reverberate with prayers. And during our Hindi classes, I remember chanting with my Hindi teacher, Hey Parmeshwar, Deen Dayalu, Daya Sindhu. I remember it till today. So every religion was respected. Every religion was worshipped. And this school, including that desperate attempt that all of us used to rush to the church, which was also across the compound, and plead for last-minute intervention from God during our exams for which we were not prepared. So there was an absolutely natural, happy amicability between all of us, a happy, natural empathy with all religions. All of us were respected. All of us were happy. We learnt about every single religion and above all, about how to be good, fine, noble, upstanding citizens. And so today I would like to say to Church Park, thank you, Church Park. You made us what we are today. All the wonderful things that we've achieved are entirely because of you. And all the faults, whatever the faults are entirely due to ourselves. Friends, just another point that I would like to share with you. and that is, school life is not an ordinary thing. The most formative years of a child's life are spent in the school. And in every school, outside the home, the most important influences of shaping a child, the shaping of a child's attribute, whether it's confidence or whether it's something that we deal with every day, whether it's desperation, whether it's shame, whether it's pride, whether it's the ineffable sadness of a class fellow passing away, whether it's independence or fraternity or help during classes between each other, all these attributes were shaped by Church Park in the most magnificent way. And in Church Park, it's not about bricks, it's not about buildings, it's not about a beautiful, salubrious environment that we have here, but the fact, this atmosphere of innocence, of purity and scholarship, which is not sullied by the business that it has now become, of mannerisms and ideals quintessential for good citizenship, and the noble raison d'etre of making honorable, bright, and striving students with hope's pure light disperse their night and guide their separate ways. Today, of course, is a much more complex and very, very complicated world. But I have no doubt that sitting over here, sitting in this audience, there are not just, like Rachel said, government officers, but politicians, businesswomen, achievers, space travelers, future presidents of India, everybody, all from Church Park. Wherever you go and whatever you do, always remember that the Church Park fraternity is there. The Church Park fraternity is bound together by very strong ties, by very strong bonds of families, of sisters, and all of us stand here before you, proud in the foundation that has been instilled into us, and proud of all that our alma mater has taught us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next speaker, friends, is a great poet and has a passion for the Tamil language. Other issues which are dear to her are environment, culture, arts, and education. Chennai Sangamam is synonymous with her name. A versatile genius and a multifaceted personality, we welcome Ms. Kanimozhi Karunanidhi. I request Sister Cecilia to kindly honor her with the Ponnade and present a memento to her.
Good evening, dignitaries on the dais, Church Parkians, past and present. It is a very, very, very special word, calling yourself a Church Parkian, because anywhere when a few women meet together and when you find out that somebody is from your own school, there's a special bond immediately, instantly, and it brings us together. Like it happened even in the parliament. Mrs. Jayanti Natarajan, Purandeshwari, and I mean, quite often we sit together and start talking about school. And it's a just joke. Some of the senior politicians ask us, are you all from the same school? Yeah. What is peculiar about this place? You know, do they make leaders or something? Is it a special place to train leaders? And I always proudly say yes. It is a place which trains leaders, just not leaders as politicians, but leaders in every field, in every walk of life, and leaders who can lead their own lives. When you talk about women's education, I think the most important thing is to make them into confident human beings who can take charge of their life, who can become aware of their rights, what they deserve, and how they have to make their choices. And I think Church Park is one place which, above everything it teaches you, above everything it tells you, above everything it guides you to do, it teaches you, it sows the seeds of confidence in every heart, in every mind which gets out of this place. And girls, when you get out of school, when you're out of school after your 12th, sometimes you don't realize what gift the school has given to you. But somewhere down the line, you realize the confidence, the strength it gives you, and in some hour, when you really need it, it comes to you, it's there for you to reach out, and in a way, in a very, very, very special way, it actually